Good day, grade 12 learners. Welcome to today's business studies lesson. My name is Tidiso Tlaga and we look into conflict management. So the focus now is on application questions to say how should you prepare for your assessments. Now, with that being said, let us look into the first application question. The first application question now requires us to identify the causes of conflict from each statement below. So the first option says to us, the dream team is not willing to work with cooler team who always receives awards. And then we have option B, which says to us, employees do not complete their tasks effectively as clear instructions are not provided. So you are supposed to identify aspects that would cause conflict from these two statements, and keep in mind that we also have option C and D. With option C there, we are talking about the idea that employees argue over the use of equipment to accomplish their tasks. And then option D says some employees cannot cope with large amounts or large number of tasks given to them. So let's go and solve option A and option B first. So the issue of now the dream team not willing to work with cooler team who always receives awards. In such a situation, in a business that is focused obviously on having more profit and achieving the vision and mission of the organization, you have to be sensing conflict. And this conflict is created by the idea that there's one team that always receives awards. So with that being said, the answer becomes unhealthy competition. Because you'd sense there's unhealthy competition because of the idea that some team members don't want to work with another team, which is within the organization, which becomes now a problem because it causes conflict. Instead of learning from other members, they're basically depriving themselves from learning due to the unhealthy competition mentality that we see, which leads to conflict, obviously. And then option B says employees do not complete their tasks effectively as clear instructions are not always provided. Now, remember, we should analyze and keep our keywords and check our keywords with that being said. So this is supposed to be unhealthy competition. So with that being said, employees do not complete. They cannot complete their task. The reason behind that is that this is because of the tasks are not what now? The employees do not complete their tasks effectively as clear instructions are not always provided. So the answer to that becomes now unclear. Unclear responsibilities. So the idea of unclear responsibilities, meaning lack of communicating with the employees to say what is their responsibility, leads to the cause of conflict when it comes to such a matter. And then option C says now employees always argue over the use of equipment to accomplish their task. So the idea of fighting over equipment, it means now there's less equipment in the business. So another matter that can cause conflict is limited resources. Limited resources in an organization can lead to conflict because employees would fight over the use of maybe computer, the use of a printing machine, because there's only one or two and the organization might be having more workers who need the machine. And then some employees cannot cope with the large number of tasks given to them. So this can cause conflict as well, and this is considered to be heavy. This is considered to be heavy workload. So this is how you are expected to identify the causes of conflict in the workplace. Then, We have option 2, which expects us to read the scenario below and answer questions that follow. We have Leletu Shuttle Services. Leletu Shuttle Services provides transportation services for tourists in Sharpeville. Albert, a well-experienced employee in the transport industry, refuses to take instructions from the management. Then we have Njabulo, the supervisor at Leletu Shuttle Service, accepts every idea from top management. Now, here you are expected to identify the two personalities, or you are expected to identify two types of difficult personalities displayed by Albert and Njabulo, and motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. And then option B requires you to recommend two strategies that Leletu Shuttle Service can use to deal with each type of difficult personality identified in question A. Now, let us look into answering. You identify the personalities. We have Albert and we also have Njabulo. Then you motivate to say, why do you say that is their personality? So because Njabulo is a well-experienced employee, then Njabulo would become an expert. And remember, you have to motivate to say, why do you say so? You motivate by saying a well-experienced employee in the transport industry refuses to take instructions from management. Then we consider that to be an expert who becomes Albert. Then Njabulo is a supervisor at Leletu Shuttle Services and accepts every idea from top management. So therefore, Njabulo becomes an over-agrees over everything, because how do you motivate? He accepts every idea from top management. Then let us look into how to deal with such. Albert is an expert, yes. How do you deal with such? Do not accuse an expert of being incorrect and know your facts. And then when you're looking into Njabulo over-agrees, then be firm and do not let Njabulo to make promises that they cannot keep, because Njabulo over-agrees and follow up on his action so that he can complete whatever he has agreed to do. So with that being said, let us take a short break and we'll continue with other assessments or application questions when we come back.